And what's really sad is you mentioned wolves. We've got wolves that are expanding rapidly in California now. We've got a terrible problem with mountain lions already. We haven't been able to hunt them technically since 1972. And then became a specially protected mammal because of Prop 17 in June 1990. So we haven't been able to manage them, right? We've got black bears, which are overabundant. The Department of Fish and Wildlife just did a conservation and management plan, completed it in April of last year, that said, well, gee, we thought we had 30 black bears in the state. I guess we have 60,000 instead, right? So double what they thought that we had. And, we can't run them with dogs anymore. We talked about that. That's by far and away the most effective way to hunt bears. The Department of Fish and Wildlife recommended, and the Fish and Game Commission approved a 1,700 bear per year quota. That's what the maximum annual harvest would be. They did that many, many years ago. Well, we were getting that pretty much every year when we could use dogs. Now that we can't use dogs, and they've been
Yeah.
illegal since 2013, we haven't come close to that. And
Yeah.
and
We haven't
so,
the quota.
the department's trying to manage bears, but they can't because the legislature, not the department, took away our ability to use the most effective way to hunt them. And so we're letting these predators just go out of control because we're not managing any of them, and it's having a serious impact, especially on our deer population. And kudos to the department because their bear conservation and management plan actually recognizes that. We did some studies, California Deer Association, in concert with the Department of Fish and Wildlife a few years back, where we collared a bunch of deer fawns. And because we knew that bears were killing fawns, but we didn't know how many. And the one study that we did, out of 100 collared fawns, 80% of them, 80 of them were killed by bears in their first 30 days because
Wow.
they can catch them. When they're that young, the bears can catch them.
Crazy.
Once they're a little bit older, the bears can't catch them. But so the bears are whacking them already
Yeah,
very, very
80% of
hard.
them.
Well,
Wow.
what's the favorite natural food of mountain lions? Deer,
Yeah.
right? And so we know that an adult mountain lion will kill a deer a week. We know that. And what happens is the bears, once they can't catch the fawns anymore, what they'll do is they call it kleptoparasitism. They'll actually chase mountain lions off of their kills of adult deers.
Right.
So, and they'll take that as well. Well, what does that mountain lion have to do then? It's got to go kill another deer or somebody's livestock, right? And so when you add all that stuff together, this is not even talking about wolves yet. It's absolutely decimating our deer population because we're not managing our apex predators, right? Now you roll wolves into it, and they're listed under the California Endangered Species Act. They're federally listed. I mean, there's nothing we can do to manage those, right? And so they're putting a lot of pressure on the elk, and they're really putting a lot of pressure on the ranching industry as well because they've gotten to get a nice taste for cattle. So a lot of them that would normally be feeding on elk aren't feeding on elk. They're feeding on cattle. And so we have got an absolute nightmare on our hands here in California when it comes to apex predator management. A lot of the animal rights folks they want to reintroduce grizzly bears. It's
That
like
would be
really
crazy.
so. Something's got to break somewhere.